Hello everyone, welcome to Wine and Real Estate. Bienvenue à Vin et Immobilier.
Oui, salut.
So tonight we're excited. We have some guests coming on, friends, I guess you could say, through Cashflow Tribe. They've been very generous with their time, and we look forward to talking to them and finding out more about their.
Great investor couple from Ottawa that are investing in markets similar to ours and some of the same as us.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
And while we wait, we're going to be opening a nice bottle. It's kind of hard to see here.
Yeah, the label's kind of white, but it's a Gewütraminer, 2018 from Magnolia. So I'll open it while you talk about it.
Yeah, Magnolia Winery.
Medium dry.
Yeah. So it's a white wine, but it's actually made from a pink grape. So what's interesting about it is it's almost like it's a red grape, well, pink, and it turns out white. So Jennifer usually gets headaches and migraines if she drinks white wine.
Yes.
So red wine, this is like a red wine, but in a white. So a blanc de noir, I guess you could say.
Kind of like a blanc de noir.
Yeah, this one should be swirled white wine as well.
Yeah, anyway, the experts say you can swirl anything except for the bubbly.
Yeah, which I tried to do.
Yeah, which actually François did do.
Yeah, that was not a good move. So, but what's nice about it is it's a white wine, but it's not sweet. But it's not bitter either. So Riesling is more acidic. Yes. This one's a lot more round, I guess you could say. So it's...
It smells good, and it has a lot of fruity undertones. It's very... they say a lot of times a little bit of a honey taste or apricot.
Yeah,
it smells good.
Like honey a little bit as well, but not sweet. So like clover honey of some sort. And you picked the nicest ice chunks here. Really nice color.
That's
blue
right,
and pink.
Because François never remembers what glass is his. So my ice cube is pink for girls, and his is blue for boys.
You should have picked the fancy ones for our drink tonight.
Yes,
we have some
nicer ones, but they're all the same color. So I wanted them to be different. So anyway.
So I see Sarah and Lénard are joining us, same page.
Yeah,
so
that's their,
we're going to be on the same page shortly.
Yes, that's their Instagram handle, same__ page. And I'm going to let them introduce themselves as soon as they connect with us. So
yeah, should be fun. And they also do a YouTube channel. They talk about couples and relationships.
And working with their husband and wife together. So that's fun. That's what we do as well.
So let's have some wine.
Yes, yay.
So is anybody drinking something interesting right now? Maybe tell us about what you're drinking or your discovery for the holidays and Christmas coming up. We've got our tree going on behind us. And
that's one thing that we always do at Christmas time is we get a bottle of
Coureur des Bois.
Des Bois, which is really, it's kind of like a Bailey's, but it's a Quebec version. And it's infused with like maple syrup. It's so good.
So they're drinking tea, same page, woohoo. So join us, so to join, you just have to tap, I'm not sure, like somewhere on the screen, and it's gonna ask to join the live. And that should allow you in. So we did a bit of a tech check, but we did it on...
Sunday?
We did it on Sunday, and we did it on Facebook, so maybe we should have tried
a tech check.
The actual Instagram. Anyway, it's just like me at lunchtime, I had to do a lot. Oh, there you go. Perfect. So at lunchtime, I had to with someone, and then it just went poof live, and we're like, oh, okay, we're live. So it requires some practice.
Here we go.
Good evening.
Hi guys.
How are you?
Hello.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So we'll let you guys introduce yourself, Lénard and Sarah Sémjuste, and just give everyone an idea of who you guys are and what you do. We did a little bit of an intro, but it was cheap.
Yeah, we need like your real intro.
Yeah.
That's okay. So I'm Sarah Lénard, and we live in Ottawa. We are in Barrhaven, and I'm a speech pathologist, actually. So,
oh, wow.
Yes, I'm a speech pathologist. I actually work with kids who from 0 to 5. And recently I started working on my own. So I'm self-employed now. I used to work for CHIO, But now I'm doing real estate and speech therapy. So quite busy, but I think it's like kind of the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
And yes.
Yeah, so I'm Lénard Sémjuste, born and raised in Ottawa. I work for a public service right now and doing some finance work for them. And been in real estate for actually a little longer than Sarah because I bought my house back in 2009. And this is the house that we currently live in right now that you guys came to join us a couple of weeks back. And just really enjoying this whole real estate journey that we're on right now.
That's
Cool.
awesome.
Yeah, great story too about your house. I mean, it's so smart what you're doing, like maximizing this space. And anyway, I don't know if you want to tell more about it,
if you want to share or not.
I was impressed.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
that's fine.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so I think when I moved, a little bit before when I moved in with Leonard was renting out a room. It's a 3-bedroom house, so we kept one as my office, and we were renting one of the rooms upstairs, and obviously we live in one. And last year, I think I was always interested in Airbnb. I had ran an Airbnb in closer to downtown, and so we no longer have that Airbnb. But I was like, well, what about our basement, right? Some people Airbnbs, they're not super expensive, but they're still close to $100 a night and things like that. So some people just want a room shared in a house, and it's much more affordable depending on why they're coming to Ottawa. And I said, like, let's throw it on Airbnb and see what happens. And it's a basement. It has no bathroom there, like on the same level, but they're obviously allowed to use all the facilities, the kitchen, the bathroom upstairs, the powder room. And Leonard was a little skeptical.
I was very skeptical, actually.
Yeah.
Because in all reality, well, for me, like, I think my main issue was the whole bathroom thing. Like, who'd want to go? Now, mind you, it's only a couple of steps, but it'd be more convenient if the bathroom was already downstairs, so then it could be a kind of like an enclosed unit. We weren't too concerned with them sharing the same entrance. Obviously, ideally, it'd be nice to have it if they had their separate entrance, but that wasn't a big deal for me. My biggest hang up or my hesitation initially was the fact that, okay, well, there's no bathroom downstairs. Like, are they going to truck all the way upstairs to take a shower? That's a little inconvenient and all that stuff. So, because I know me personally, I'd feel comfortable with that, but I'm not sure. But if other people would feel comfortable doing that, like if you were paying for an Airbnb. So that was my main concern, but I was wrong.
Yeah, that's a big roadblock so far.
And I can admit that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the good thing about Airbnb is that all these things are listed, right? So if you don't feel comfortable sharing a bathroom, then you just wouldn't book. So it's not. I didn't feel like it was a big issue because I'm like, well, it's public information. So you book if you want to, and if you don't, and it's been working so well to the point where we're house hacking now. And no complaints. Everybody has been, all the guests are great. So far, knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
So yeah, we're continuing to do it.
Oh, that's great.
That's awesome.
And what a great thing, especially since you don't have any kids yet, but it's great to use the space because you're a couple in a 3-bedroom house. It's like you don't need all that space, right? So you might as well take advantage of it.
Use that money and invest in more properties.
Yes. So you want to tell us a bit about where are you guys investing? What are your strategies that you're mostly focusing on right now?
We're investing. So far, we've invested in Ottawa. So in our backyard, we also invested in Cornwall, and we found a program that helped us invest in Saskatoon as well this year. So those are the places that we bought. The strategies that we've been using are BRRRR. That's we haven't done a full flip yet. I think we looked at our goals, and that's something that we would want to do for 2021. But so far it's been BRRRing, and we're also wholesaling, and we can dive a little bit talk a little bit about that if you guys want.
Please, yes.
But yeah, okay. Well, and wholesaling, I don't think it's really investing as much as making money, because you're not keeping anything, right?
No.
So it is a strategy, but it does make you good money to do whatever else you want to do, whether it's to keep
It's
or
making
to flip.
money with real estate.
That's it.
Yes,
Exactly.
that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to explain
Yeah, maybe just
wholesaling?
explain
Sure.
for people that don't understand
Well,
what wholesaling is, just in case someone's watching and doesn't know.
yeah, absolutely, no problem. Well, for one, the first thing I want to point out is the fact that wholesaling is kind of like a branch of our business. So we also have like a buy and hold for multifamilies. But when it comes to wholesaling is a process of getting a property under contract and then assigning that property to another buyer. And then ideally, you want to get this property that you found, hopefully like off market. You want to get it below market value, and then you want to wholesale it to a potential buyer and make a little spread in between from what you got under contract for to what you ultimately sell to the end buyer.
So you're basically flipping paper. So you never close on the property. You never take, you're never on title, take possession. You just find a good deal, put it under contract, and then you sell that contract to someone else for whatever fee makes sense, right? It has to make sense for the buyer and the seller, of course.
Exactly. And then going back to what she was saying, it's like, so like a lot of times the end buyer, we're kind of looking at, okay, well, is this person going to use the property to flip it? Is this person going to use the property to do the burst strategy? Is this person's going to do? Is this person just going to buy and hold? So depending on whatever strategy that end user might be using, then accordingly we like to adjust at least our assignment fee towards that. Because for example, like if you know you're going to be assigning it to a flipper, you want to know that there's potential for that flipper to make at least, let's say, $30,000, because I think that's kind of like at least from what we've heard, that like a generic profit, like a minimum profit that most flippers want to make on a flip. So going back to what Sarah was saying as far as adjusting our assignment fee accordingly, we want to make sure that there's enough meat on the bone for the end user who may also be an investor to also make some money on their end.
Yeah, well, it makes sense because you are making money on the deal, but it has to be worth the while for the buyer, otherwise you won't find anybody, right?
No,
that's exactly
our challenge with like we've been looking at wholesale deals, and
we haven't
not
found
yours,
a lot that have, we haven't seen any of yours, but a lot of people don't seem to leave enough meat on the bone, like you said. So it's kind of a tough. You're like, okay, well, if it's this price and I put it for $50,000 of renovations, it's only going to be worth $50,000 more. You know, like it's not going to have that lift.
Yeah, you need that lift. Like it'd be
great point
to move in. You don't get into bidding wars, but yeah, it's missing that gap. So I'm interested in being on your list, and I think you have
keep us in mind.
Yes.
Well, definitely we'll do. And like for me, like that's why it's really important to, well, for one, at least we believe, to get the property off market. So you're dealing directly with the seller, and also you want to definitely buy it at the right price, getting it under market value. So you already have that built equity, so it gives you a lot more room to play with when it comes to meeting those numbers.
Yeah,
I think what's really important about wholesaling, and maybe that's where the issue comes when you guys are looking at these deals, is to get to know your buyers. So, for example, some flippers, just like Leonard said, maybe they want to make $30,000. Maybe another flipper says, like, I'm not taking any deals unless I'm making $50,000.
Yeah,
so
that's a different story.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
absolutely.
So, if you talk to your buyers, when people are saying, I'm interested in being on buyers list, I try to hop on a call with them or at least send a few emails back and forth. It helps us know what to look for, because if it's not a good deal for buyers, then there's no point in wholesaling, right?
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
wasting your time and your letters and all that money
Yeah.
and effort. Like us, we're not flippers, but we have a price per door, like $400
Yes.
use when we buy. So
Yeah.
if we see that number's too high, or after renovation it's too high, we're like, okay, moving on.
And that's exactly it. Because what makes sense to me or us might not make sense to you, right? And I understand that every buyer may be different, but at the same time, if you have some kind of criteria to go about, then you could say, oh, you know what, Francois and Jennifer, they would definitely take that one. Or at least you know to contact them and be like, I have something that meets your criteria. What do you think? Right? So I think that's a big component of wholesaling, is to really get to know your buyers, not just like throw in your email address and then you don't even know what they want, right?
So it's relationship building, like networking, get to know each other. And yeah, that's like the list we've been looking at. We don't even know the people, so they don't know us, we don't know them.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, it's not that hot. And I mean, like, sometimes we have the cash there. We can buy it cash. Like, it doesn't matter. It's just, it's not the right deal. So you have to buy at the right price. It's not financing.
Yes.
It's that relationship that's lacking. So that's good to know.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. Never thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
You can give them a call. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I think that you were saying that your wholesaling business kind of helps you build capital for your actual real estate investing business. So you said you do the BRRRR strategy: buy, renovate, refinance, rent, repeat. I'm just repeating that for people who are watching, so just in case they don't know. But so what properties are you investing in? Like, are you doing singles, duplexes, bigger multifamily? And I think you said you're doing Ottawa, Cornwall, and Saskatoon. So maybe just explain to people what you're doing and why, where, what, and why.
Yes. This year is really the year that we learned a lot more about strategies. I think in the past, the real estate market just helped us because it's so hot. Prices increased by a lot in a short period of time that we BRRRR'd accidentally. So it wasn't like
that's a good one.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what happened, where we had bought a property. Yeah, and it was about a year later. It wasn't, the short time frame that most people look at is about 6 months.
Yes.
But about a year later, we were looking at where to pull equity from, and we looked at that property, and we were able to pull out our entire down payment.
Nice.
And we're like, whoa, and then we heard that that's a strategy, because we didn't think that it was actually a thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that allowed us to get, another property. And now in Ottawa, things are getting a little bit more expensive. So you just need a little bit, you need to get better deals to be able to BRRRR, which is why we're looking at other markets, such as Cornwall, those secondary markets.
Yes.
So that's what we're doing right now. Currently, we're doing renovations on one property in Ottawa, and we're hoping to BRRRR that one as well when it's completed. But it's a little bit tricky just due to a tenant situation. I'm not gonna get too much into it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you need
right.
You need a good tenant story. It's normal. It's part of your
I know. We've had good tenants.
Yeah, that's pretty much,
But, we bought this property, which is why we got it at a lower price, because we kind of bought the problem. But at the same time, then we have to deal with the problem, which is okay.
You're creating opportunity. You create the deal. Like, that's how it works. If you find a deal, usually it's not a deal. When there's an issue and like, you guys are part of the council as well, problems versus the profit, or how does it go?
Problems, problems or profit.
Okay, good.
So it's so true. I mean, problem tenants, then you're able to manage it and take it on. Or sometimes it's foundation issues. No one touches that property. Sometimes it's stupid. Like, it's a silly issue. You just inject this, how do you call it? The stuff you put in the foundation.
I don't know.
It's like silicone
Like
or
crack
something.
filler.
Yeah.
Crack filler. It's a major
Crack
filler.
filler.
For like crack filler.
Oh my goodness! But yes, but I'm really not. I lose my English sometimes. So the last time I went to buy, you know, the spray foam that you put in the cracks. In French,
Yeah.
it's called mousse expansive. So I went into Home Depot and I said, "Can I have a mousse to fill a crack?"
Yeah. So a big
Anyways,
Oh,
that's a
love
funny
it.
story. But yes, it was
Yeah.
I was looking for a very small mousse.
But it's just managing and being able to put in that work.
expectation and putting in the work. And
Yeah.
I'm sure that the problem tenant that you have, it's work, but it'll be worth it in the end.
Very rewarding
Exactly.
once you move on.
Yeah, and
It's not fun in the moment.
exactly. So, and obviously, like, so we're playing like the long-term game too, right? And that's
Yes,
one thing with
we're
real
moving.
estate. Exactly. So as much as there's some opportunities that you can do a flip, and within like 3 to 6 months you can get your money back and make a good profit. But for the most part, you're looking at the long term to get that natural appreciation, mortgage pay down, be able to refinance the property to access the equity down the road. So it's more of a long term play. And just to add to what Sarah was saying, so moving forward for us, we're really looking at to acquire, as far as a buy and a hold, multifamilies of at least 5 units that cash flow at a certain amount that can for us makes it worthwhile, and also this cash flow can then basically fund our lifestyle.
Yeah, like replace our salary basically.
Oh, so that eventually you're doing this full time. Well, not full time, like
Yes.
half time, and then you're having fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Enjoying wine
Exactly.
or babies or something.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly it. I think a lot of people, when they get into real estate, they see the freedom, right? Yes, but some people have lofty goals and want to get rich, and that's fine. And but for us, the first goal is freedom.
Yes.
And then, you know, if we want to go further, then we have the time if we want to, you know, go further and build like a bigger business. So when you buy back your time, you're able to really think about what your other options are.
Yeah, and plus
Yeah,
Sarah
so
and I, we both
do with your time. So important.
exactly. Yeah, and plus Sarah and I, we want to spend that time obviously with family and to travel and also to give back. So however real estate can help us do that, then we're going to make sure to create those systems to have real estate basically like fund this lifestyle of ours that we're hoping to get in the future.
Oh, that's great.
Our goal is to do like the Benham brothers. I don't know if you guys know them, but they're US based, and they have, I'm not sure how it goes. They have
tons of businesses anyway, but they're real estate investors. And what they do is they actually have one of their businesses that just is funding charities that they have on their heart. So I thought
100% profit.
that'd be a great
all of it goes.
goal to have one
Okay.
property that's just funding charities.
Yeah, so this one, you know,
That's
all the
cool.
money is gone, like you give it away. So that's what we want to do. But I retired about a month ago now. Jennifer, we'll see at some point.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But I retired and now I work full time in real estate
Yes,
investing.
he works like
so-
60 hours a week. What a retirement.
like non-stop, but it's fun. I get to talk to people like you guys.
Yes.
Mhm.
And working towards our goal. So it's
Yes,
it's not working towards somebody else's dream. We're working towards
that's exactly.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. I think it just gives you the freedom to choose
Yeah.
what you want. You could stop if you wanted to, right?
Yeah.
And play golf all day or whatever you like to do, or you just spend the time doing the other things that you enjoy, like building your business. So I think what it provides is really a choice, you know, options for your lifestyle.
So is that how you guys got into real estate? Like, how did it all start? Like you.
I could start that because for me, my goal was to own a home before I was 30. That was my goal. I don't know why I chose 30. I guess for me it was like that's the year that you basically like or like a real adult. Right? You're out of the house, you're an actual real adult. Yeah, exactly, right? So for me, like I started now, mind you, I should have like set the age at 25, but that's a whole other discussion.
Yeah.
All right. So for me, I was able to buy my house before I was 30, and then I wish I kind of knew the strategies then as far as renting out the rooms. Like if I had that strategy going in, then at least I could have done like a pure house hack and just have other people basically paying my mortgage and paying my expenses. And then from there, when I met Sarah, we got married. She moved in here, and then for us, we decided instead of putting ourselves in more debt to buy a bigger place, we're like, how about let's invest?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
because I'm sure you could buy like a huge mansion in Barhaven and
Yeah.
But then you're paying for the house, and like Rich Dad Poor Dad, they say your house is a liability. So your house is not a liability in your case. I mean, it's providing.
It's not a liability.
Yeah, it's actually.
Yeah, it's giving us. It's definitely an asset. I think from there, when we decided to really dive into investing. Again, we still didn't know the strategies as far as borrowing and JV partner and all of that, private money,
even cash flow.
Yeah, we knew we wanted cash flow, but we're like, oh, Ottawa, you can't. So we didn't have that mindset either.
Yeah.
So we just bought. We bought what ended up being a really good deal. Now that we think about it, we're glad that we entered the market at that point because that's the property we burned, about a year later. But we weren't analyzing properties, So we bought that a duplex. And it's basically just breaking even. And we were fine with that because we're like, hey, we're not, paying out of pocket. Prior to that, I had bought a condo in Orleans, which is in the east end of Ottawa. If anybody not from Ottawa is listening. And same concept. I was just like, okay, just buy. As long as it breaks even, it doesn't matter, I'm just getting for me, it was like a free property because I'm not putting anything into it besides a down payment.
Which is true.
And
exactly.
Yeah. So I was okay with that. And then this year is really when when COVID happened, I had more time on my hands. I had actually just quit my 9-to-5 to start my private speech therapy business, and everything shut down. So I had no salary, but thankfully, you know what? It's a blessing. I don't even see it as a bad thing because we were ready for it. We said, okay, well, I'm going to quit my job. Let's say I don't have a salary. We knew I was going to have a salary, but let's say I don't have one for X amount of months. Can we survive off his salary? And the answer is yes. And all you have to do is budget. In my opinion, you can do a lot of things if you really budget. And that downtime allowed us to learn so much. We learned about burring, wholesaling,
cash flow,
real
cash flow,
renos, add value, different. We learned about different markets like Cornwall because we were like, who invests in Cornwall?
Yeah.
We do now. And that really allowed us to really learn more. And just like that, we just took action. We started making offers, and that's how we acquired 3 properties in 6 months. So for us,
that's great.
COVID sort of helped us, with real estate.
It was kind of like a launching pad.
Yeah,
yes.
A push in the right direction.
Yeah. Exactly.
So now we're full on in it.
Oh, it's great. Us too. With the COVID, everyone seemed to be saying how bored they were. Like, we have never
Oh
been
man, so
this
busy.
busy in my life.
Can't we do like twice the COVID, lock everything down? We're good. We have so much to do
Maybe
inside.
don't say that because some people might get angry.
I know.
Lock us in,
Offended, I
but
know.
lock us in.
Yeah.
Yes, for some people,
We
COVID
feel the
was
same.
really not a blessing, but
Yeah.
Yeah, we feel the same way.
I was a little sad when I had to go back to work, and I was like, oh man, I don't have as much time to look at properties and make offers. So it's busier, you know, because now I'm doing both. But at the same time, you know what, like now that I know the strategies, you learn more as you do. So now we're just like head on looking every day, making offers, sending out flyers for wholesaling business, and finding properties. That's the game now.
oh, that's awesome. So tell us a little bit. What's your latest deal? What does that look like? It could be wholesaling or BRRRR or whatever, but
Something you like.
Yeah.
Enjoyed.
Let's talk about Cornwall.
Yeah, so Cornwall is our latest deal. So we were fortunate enough to close on 2 properties in the end of September. And Cornwall is a fourplex that we were able to get off market. And a nice little tip for this one, like before I get started with the numbers and whatnot, if you're interested in going into real estate, you need to talk to anyone that is willing to listen about real estate or about the things that you're trying to do, because we end up getting this deal from a family friend.
wow.
Just from us talking about it. We just so happened that we were going to go see some other properties in Cornwall, like the weekend of when we went to, like, actually it was my uncle's birthday at that time, and then we just started talking, and then my uncle's wife was like, oh, well, I know somebody in Cornwall that's invests in this and this and that and all that stuff, and
Wow.
you should get in touch with that person and whatever. So and that's exactly what we did. One thing led to another, and like, you know how that people say that most like a lot of good deals or some real estate deals, like you can just basically write all the financial information on a napkin.
Yeah, that was one of those.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. Yeah.
Wow.
So we're able to get this property for like $460K. It's a fourplex, 3 bedrooms in each unit. And then
It was turnkey.
it was turnkey. We were able to get seller financing on it.
Yeah, 80%.
Yeah. And then and then also it was cash flowing. Just
better.
just at the current at the status quo, it was cash flowing, and we knew that there's room to with natural turnover to increase the rents and to also increase the cash flow.
Wow.
So you're just basically, where do I sign?
Yeah.
Basically.
That was exactly what happened. We're
Yeah.
like, please do not sell to anyone else, only sell to us. And because obviously he was a family friend, we were able to work out a deal. But the best thing about this deal is that this is actually a deal where we started raising capital. That was the first deal that we used other people's money, or OPM. So for the down payment and JV partnering, so the deal is that they get a percentage of the cash flow and some of the equity.
That's
And
smart.
in a certain and in a certain period of time, we give that money back. We're gonna refinance it, and they get to keep their money and still benefit from some of the cash flow. So it's kind of like infinite return on this deal. So that strategy attracted a lot of investors for us, and it was kind of cool using other people's money, I have to say. So moving forward, that's part of the game too, right? Networking and seeing what other people want, and we can find deals, and maybe they can fund the deals and stuff like that.
And you're giving back that way. I had a great conversation this afternoon with a gentleman, and he wanted to know, how do I get started? I have this much money and I'm not sure how to invest. Who do I invest with? So you're giving back. Sometimes you're giving them these opportunities. Well, why don't we partner up and you put in a little bit of money and I'll guide you. And then his amount as well, he needed to grow a bit more capital because sometimes it's not enough of a deposit to do anything, but it's good, but you're not there yet. So you can become a private lender. You can lend your credit, you can lend your line of credit and earn some money. It's crazy. You pay 3% and you lend it at 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, depending on the deal. So
whatever you want.
All that money. Yeah, whatever you want. If the deal is good enough, could be 25%. I don't care if it cash flows.
Yes.
I'll pay you 50% interest if I have to.
It's true, exactly.
Yes.
So
yeah, if the deal's good, and like that's one thing that right now like we're really focusing on is like to get a good deal where like it'll be just so attractive to potential investors that they just want to throw money at us.
Yeah.
Right?
You'll get those phone calls. Don't worry. Well, I'm sure you're already
yeah.
So
Yes.
Yeah.
I get them every day. I'm like, I don't have enough deals. I need Sarah and Lénard to find me deals. So.
Yes.
Right.
So it kind of pushes you forward to want to find more, right? When you have that capital. And it's interesting, sometimes you have no money and lots of deals, or deals and no money, you know? So it's kind of cool when they come together and you have both and you can make things happen a lot quicker.
Yeah, you need almost like I worked in sales many years, and you need like 2 funnels, one with deals and one with investors, and you're constantly
matching them up.
Yeah, sometimes if you have access to capital, just borrow it and pay the interest. And like, I mean, you need to have a plan, of course, but get that money while you can, then get the deal because it's gonna happen anyway. So that's our recommendation.
Yeah, you might pay a few months interest, but you'll have the money ready for when the deal arrives.
Yeah, then you're ready because you never want to be deal no money or money no deal. Like it's
it's like a bit of a dance. It's hard to balance.
And then look outside. I think outside the box, like you mentioned, Saskatoon. So I'm sure there's some awesome stuff going on in other provinces. We've done out of province. We're doing out of country very shortly. So like there's opportunities everywhere. And then
absolutely.
The amounts don't matter sometimes. Like it's smaller amounts in secondary markets. Here a down payment is more like what, 100,000, while in other places 20,000 is a great deposit. Right?
Yeah.
You know what? You bring up a good point, and this is something that at least Sarah always makes a point to say whenever we talk to whenever we see some YouTube videos of people doing business in like Southern Ontario, where like like they're putting down like $10,000 with $25,000 in renos for these multifamilies that are under $200,000. It's like it's just ridiculous. Some of these price points and some totally different.
Like 20 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly it.
In Chatham, Ontario, and like small cities or towns, and
Sarnia,
they're going up in value because I remember we used to live in London, and London you could get a townhouse for 69,000. Now it's like 400 or more.
Yes.
So Chatham must have been 10,000 if London was 69K. So Hamilton, we used to live in Hamilton. You could get a house for 100,000 right downtown. Now you'd be looking at 700. So I wish when we were 19 and 20 years old, we would have bought a whole bunch. I'm like, this city has something to offer in the future. And now,
but that's the regret for all real estate investors. Once you get the ball rolling, you're like, I wish I had done this earlier. I wish I knew this bigger. It's always that. You can't beat yourself up all the time for that. So the opposite question: what's next? What's next for Sarah and Lénard? What are you guys going to be doing in 2021, or hoping to do? What's your plan?
Well, actually, funny you mentioned because we just we had a meeting with one of our business partners. So one thing that we wanted to do is just more action. So more offers, more wholesale deals. And we were trying to see how we can partner with people that would make us more efficient. So instead of getting like, the whole grape, you get a piece of the watermelon.
Virtual.
So yes, and we're going to talk about that too. So we partnered with a realtor. We partnered with a couple of people who are going to help us on the lead generation side and on the selling the deal side. That's for wholesale. And I think, well, I think naturally, at least for now, the wholesale can also lead to multifamilies, right? Depending on where you send them. So to tell the truth, we focus more on like getting a system ready for 2021. I do have a number of in terms of how much I want to make in sales. I'm not going to share it, but I do, you know, we want to meet a certain goal. And also the
just 5 million. That's it.
You know,
500
nothing.
million.
Yeah, go big or
Oh,
go
There you go.
500.
That too.
Don't talk to me if you get less than that.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
And the multifamily is a little bit more of I guess a slower game, just because we've been focusing so much on the wholesale, but definitely continue to look for multifamily. For that one, we don't have a specific like how many doors goal, but 2020 is not over, so we're still gonna take a look at what we want to do in that for that business in 2021. So it's like more offers, more conversations, more money coming in.
There's 2 weeks left in 2020. You guys can eke out another deal. Come on.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we believe so.
And actually, your marketing campaign went out this week, so it is quite possible that we do another deal in 2020.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Like you're saying something similar to us. When did we stop? Our last deal is
August.
So since August, we've been working on systems, improving our accounting, improving our cash flow, renovating our existing assets, increasing cash flow. So like, because we've invested out of province, some provinces you can increase rent much more easily. You can give 30 notice and increase the rent however much you want. So double it if you feel like it, and the market will support it. So this is what we've been working on, is making
Systems,
sure, systems, all our assets are maximized. Then we look for more.
Yeah, and then probably the break is over, so we just bought our next one.
Yeah, I just bought our next one today,
Yes.
and then hopefully at the end of the
Congrats.
week,
Yes.
thank you. We'll buy another one probably in the States by the end of the week, and then a bit more in Canada, maybe in the next week or two. So we're hoping maybe 3 deals by the end of the year. We'll see. They might,
In
Good
2
for you
weeks.
guys.
they might end up in 2021, but
Yes.
we'll see.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. And I think you mentioned a great point. Sometimes because of the environment and the people that we talk to, we're sometimes pushed to do what they're doing. So if they're making a lot of offers, it's like we want to do the same thing. Or if they're, doing lots of walkthroughs, we want to do the same things. But there is definitely, sometimes you do have to look at what you're doing and create a system, like slow down, not to do nothing, but to kind of make your system better so you can ramp it up, right? And not feel bad about doing that, right? You said that prior to this month, your last few deals were in August, right? So some people might be like, oh, what happened during that time? But that system that you built is gonna help you, grow your business exponentially in 2021.
Yeah, that's so true, because we were not sitting around doing nothing since August, that's for
Oh
sure.
my goodness.
No, that's for sure. Yeah.
That's exactly it.
I managed to leave my job, and that required a lot of planning, how to do that. And
Yes, I remember it's been months. It was like, can I do it now? No, not yet. Can I do it now? No, not yet.
because as we say, I'm the gas pedal, she's the brake. So
Okay.
I did put a brake on him a few times, but it's hard to put a brake on that one.
I'm like, I want to leave now,
Right.
now, and eventually she's like, just quit already.
So I'm going to ask you, what was the process like for you to quit? Did you have a certain cash flow in mind, or was it more a certain date, or were you just confident that you were going to make money regardless? Like, what did that look like for you guys?
Well, I think it was mostly the fact that we were just burning the candle at both ends. We're like, okay, we just need to make this work. We can't be working full-time during the day, both of us, and then be working full-time in the evening. Like, something's got to give. Like,
stuff was falling apart. Like we were missing bills and payments,
Yes,
and
just-
our systems were not in place.
And not because we didn't have money in the bank account, because we forgot the freaking bill.
Yeah, we're like, yeah, we could pay this 10 times over, but
They're
we
like,
forgot
"Oh,
to pay
sorry, we
it.
forgot
so-
another bill." And he's like, "I know, but I'm doing so much. Like, there's just so much that you can do until you kind of have to quit something, right?"
Yeah, so
Yeah.
So we quit the thing that was,
the least, it didn't align with our goals anymore. Like you mentioned earlier, I
Okay.
didn't want to work for somebody else's dream, so
Mhm.
didn't align with our goals, and I felt I don't need to do this anymore. And if I need to go back to work, there's tons of work right now. For
Yeah.
what I did before, I could find a job any day and go back. So
Yeah.
there was no stress, and
yes.
yeah.
And it's so hard to keep the relationships going with new investors and everything when you don't have any time. So
Money
he's like,
partners, you need to maintain them, of course. You need to wine
Yeah.
them and
Yeah.
keep finding
You have to
deals.
date
so
yeah. And there's only
And I
24
think
hours
some-
in a day.
Yeah, sometimes you have to make that plunge and also believe in your abilities to continue doing what you were doing, right? I know for myself, when I quit my job, I was a little bit scared that I was just going to be lounging and not, working as
Mhm.
hard.
the opposite,
And
I'm
then-
sure.
And then you kind of look at your personality, your history, and you tell yourself, well, why would you all of a sudden become a different person?
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
just not, that just doesn't happen, right? And I'm sure it's the same for you as well. When you figure it out, whatever you decided, you're gonna work towards that. It's not just gonna be, okay, I quit my job, I retire, and I'm gonna sit around and do nothing. You also have a plan, right? To build. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
No, and it's mingling with people like you, like-minded individuals is so important.
Yeah.
You don't want to be hanging around naysayers and people say you can't do it, you can't do that. I don't believe in that. You can't. Everything is possible
In
if
this
you put
business,
your
you don't
mind.
have time for that.
Yeah, we don't have time for not possible.
Exactly.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that's another thing that we started doing a little bit more is just personal development, because you can, have all the strategies that you want, but if you don't have the right mindset, you're gonna be in analysis paralysis, right?
Yeah.
And if you're hanging around people who are like, well, I don't know, aren't you scared that, insert excuse, here, then it puts doubts in your mind. But when you speak with people like yourselves and people that are doing it, they're problem solvers.
Yeah.
They'll tell you, oh, you can figure it out, or here's a possible solution. And then it makes it possible rather than looking really at the problems, right? And I think that's really, really important to surround yourselves with people who are gonna see the same way, have the same vision,
Yeah.
see possibilities
Yeah.
versus
So
roadblocks.
I think that we never ask ourselves, can we do it? It's okay. How are we going to
Yeah,
do
it's how
it?
do we do it?
How do we do it?
Mhm.
Yeah, like the $500 million in deals like next year. How do you do it? That requires a
Yeah.
big team. It's not impossible, but you need the system.
Oh, absolutely.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just
Yeah.
scale. It's like going from a single house to duplex, triplex, fiveplex, 20, 100 units. It's the same thing. It's just different systems in place, different amount of money, of course. But even money, money is just money. An investor for 25,000 or 250,000 or 25
We'll have
million,
to do the same process.
same process.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
It's just
Very true.
more conversations, right?
Yeah.
So for a $500,000 deal, maybe you do 5 conversations. For $5 million deal, then maybe you need 50 conversations. Like, it's just a numbers game.
Yeah.
For $5 million, I'll go and stay at their house.
yeah. We'll dust your house if you need to.
Yeah.
So
That's exactly it.
where can people learn more about you guys? I know your handle is same__page, but I think you also have a YouTube channel and all that. So maybe just talk a little bit about that, and so that people know where they can find out more about Lénard and Sarah, and maybe invest with you guys.
Yeah, great people to invest with. I would invest with you, so I'm sure others that will be watching this and will be listening to us would like to reach out to you.
Well, I appreciate that. So we have a page called Same Page, same __ page, and the YouTube channel is more about marriage and relationships and really opening up conversations about anything and everything that relates to relationships. Oftentimes it's topics that people have a little bit of a harder time talking about. You know, it's taboo and nobody brings it up, but every single person or couple goes through that. So that YouTube channel was really created to open up the discussion about these topics particularly. And since we've been doing real estate a little bit more this year, we've also opened up, you know, about real estate and how to personal development, purpose, how to invest in yourself, how to invest in real estate. We're starting to have guests on the shows, and you're probably going to be on one of ours soon as well.
Yes.
We have all kinds of stories of taboo and stuff.
Everybody does, and the funny thing is that couples, like, we're not all that different from one another, right?
Really
Everybody
not.
has their own issues and the things that work for them, and through talking about it, you might find out something that a couple is doing that may work for you that you never thought of, right?
Yeah.
But because the topic is not discussed, everybody just stays in their bubble and they think it's just them, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to speaking. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
So that's the purpose of that. So there's no real limits as to what we talk about. And actually, one of our goals for 2021 is to put out more videos and more topics more content. So that's a system that we've been working on this month to make sure that we're meeting our goal for 2021. People can find us at just on this page at same __ page. Reach out to us. You know, we're always happy to talk to like-minded people who have questions. We really want to help because we were in, you know, the beginner's position at one point too, you know, all frail and scared to take action. And it's not that far back for us either. So we can relate to that. And yeah, so that's the purpose of it. And I also have my personal Instagram account, but I would prefer if people reach out to me through same __ page.
Oh,
Perfect. We'll make sure to include it in the notes about the show and about the episode. And thank you so much for coming on and sharing a little bit about your story. And we'll need to do an update maybe next year, later in the year, and see like where you stand with your goals and what's happened since then. And
see if you're at your 500 million.
Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely. Did we surpass it? Probably.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having us. It's been great.
Yes,
our pleasure.
Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great night, and thank you everyone for listening.
Yes.
Yes,
care.
thank you.
Have a good night.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.
I never know how to end these things.
I'll just let you guys end it.
I'm like, where do you push on the button?
Little X. Have a good night. Bye.
Have a good night.
No, c'est ça, c'est pas ça.
I guess you guys have to leave and then we leave.
I don't even know how to leave. Oh, done.
We'll just sit here and stare at you guys until you leave. No.
Yeah.
Do you have a deal for us? We want to buy.
Hold on, let me see if I can find.
Thanks, Customized Beauty. So have a good night.
Yes, thank you.